All right, we will go ahead and get started. We'll let people in as we go. So it is November 15th. Wow. It feels like it was just August. I don't understand how fast as the year gets closer to an end, it just goes faster. It'll be Christmas before we know it. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Lisa, we'll let you do housekeeping today. I think Valerie will be on, but she'll be a little
Housekeeping.
bit late. Yeah.
Housekeeping. Hey, you guys already saw me say happy Friday in the chat. So there is a chat if you want to say anything at all. But housekeeping rules. So lines muted unless speaking. Please share your stories, experiences and tips, ask questions, make recommendations. Tell us what you want to know. You can tell us in the chat. You can raise your hand. We want to hear from you guys. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this thing. So we do want to hear from you. Oops. Okay. Next slide. Sorry, I'm not driving. I'm just reading. Okay. Reintroductions. Since I'm talking, I can say I'm Lisa Marsolais. I have been in home care forever and a day, worn all hats. And I love being a part of your guys' journey and being able to share and recommend and all of that good stuff, all of the good vibes. I am here for you guys anytime. My second love also was newspaper and advertising. So bringing these two together with the online marketing and home care is just my dream job. So I love being here with you guys. Thanks for having me and glad you're here. Next up, Dawn.
All right. I'm Dawn Fiala. I've been with Group Senior Network for close to 3 years now. I just can't believe how fast that's gone by. I also have a background in home care, and sales, marketing, operations, recruiting, retention. I've done all of it. I was at Home Instead Senior Care for 10 years, and then more recently, an independent home care agency. I figured out, I love growing home care agencies. It was just my passion and the whole home care experience, doing things for seniors and making their lives better and allowing them to age in place and stay home and the things. So I really appreciate everything all of you are doing all day long because you're making that difference in their lives. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. Annette.
Hey, I am Annette Ziegler, and I have been in home care too, like 20 plus years. I teach the sales training classes here at ASN, and I'm really happy to see a lot of my class members joining in today. So I'm glad you're here. I love helping people grow, getting pay referrals, teaching you all the grassroots marketing of how to get in and help you. So welcome, happy Friday, and we're glad you're here.
Yep. And I think Valerie will be joining us later. She is our founder and co-owner, and she's in.
I'm here.
Oh, she is here. She's not on my little picture here. I only have 5 people that show up. Go ahead, Valerie. I was going to tell them all about you.
Here. I should have let you go on. I'm Valerie Van Booven. I'm a registered nurse. I founded Approved Senior Network in 2008, and George is the co-owner. George Novison is the co-owner of Approved Senior Network. We've been doing this gig for, my kids are 18, or no, they're 17. Sorry, they'll be 18 soon. Gosh, I'm so old. So we've been doing this for about 17 years. And these 3 ladies, I'm the nerd that does I love the online marketing piece of this, but these ladies are who you want to listen to when it comes to the in-person sales. I'm your online girl. These ladies are definitely super knowledgeable and the best I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of sales trainings. Listen to these ladies. That's all.
I'm actually part online nerd. I'm like half and half.
Yeah, we all are a little nerd.
All right. So who wants to you want to do your part, Valerie?
All right. How to watch meetings you missed.
Lisa's going to do it. All right, go.
No, I'm fine. Okay, how to watch meetings that you missed. So you need to log into the forum. The address is right there. It's homecaresalesforum.com. Your username is the email that you gave us when you first signed up with us, and the password is what was emailed to you. Or if you forgot your password, you can just click on the forgot password feature. This is what it looks like here, Home Care Sales Support Forum with the beautiful purples and neon pinks and blues. And then if you see the big yellow arrow here, it says learning. So as soon as you get in there, you're going to want to go to learning, click on learning. And when you do that, you will see the next slide. You'll see a couple of different boxes like this. If you're in our home care sales trainings, you'll see a couple of different boxes too. But here for a continuum, you'll see this 2024 ASN Continuum Sales Mastery Circle. Click on that. When you click on that, it opens up to all of the mastery circles every other Friday from January on down to today, or we'll have today after. And you can click on any of these, download the files. You can go in and make changes to any of the leave behinds. You can go to the store, or you can just rewatch the videos. Okay. And the mobile version, so Collab app, KOLAB, how to use it and what it's for. If you want to be able to view all of this or get to it through your phone, here you go. Here is Apple, and there's the lead connector ID there. You can just click on that, and or you have the Google App Store. So whichever system you're using, there you go. There's one for each. You see the pretty little K, but you get there, same type of thing. You want to join this group. And once you join the group, it will go into everything that you saw before, but mobile version. There you go. So the forum has a ton of cool stuff from your peers, from everybody all over the US and Canada, anyone that's in home care. So you'll see here, there's our Continuum Mastery. You can go and log on, and maybe it's a reminder that we just posted it. There's cool different tchotchkes and leave behinds. People take some of the leave behinds like Jay did here and made it his own, which I thought was the cutest ever. You also have just questions, answers, and you have our attention, and we will go in and be able to answer any questions that you might have here. So use it as just a tool for you and as a community as well. And if you look to the very bottom of each of those screens there's the different pages like home, discussion, learning. So in that discussion, that's where a lot of this stuff can happen, where you're asking questions and seeing all these cool dates.
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. All right, we're going to get started. We are starting a 3-part series, Ready, Set, Succeed, a 3-part blueprint for thriving in 2025. We have 3 meetings left through the end of the year, one of those being today. And so pay attention to the dates, because it's usually every other week. And we've thought about Thanksgiving and the holidays that are coming up, and I think we moved one maybe, but the dates will be sent to you. They've already been sent to you, but we'll keep you posted. So today we're going to talk about review your yearly performance metrics. So before we get started, though, we are going to have a giveaway. So if you are willing to use the giveaway and share pictures of what you're doing, so for December, one attendee that's here today now will receive a set of customized December leave behinds with your logo, colors, and contact information. So we're going to get into the December leave behinds, and we had somebody win last week. Was it Kim? I'm trying to remember, or last time, was it Kim won?
Kim.
Yes.
It was Kim.
So
was
we
Kim
created
right here in Lafayette.
Yes.
Right?
So all of those December leave behinds, we made them for her and customized them for her, including the holiday coloring pictures. There's 6 of them. So she's set. She's ready to go. There's nothing for her to do. If you want to be that person and you're willing to share pictures of the leave behinds and what you're doing with them and where you were in the community, go ahead and go into the chat. And it looks like, Lisa, have you already? Kim's in there again. She's ready to go. She already knows what to do. Way to go, Kim. So go into the chat and let us know that you will. Just type in the word yes, and we will consider you. Somebody today will get that, and we will get those sent to you right away, because we've got to get December. You've got to be working on December now for the holiday coloring pictures. Okay, go ahead and fill up that chat. Lisa, I can see her taking notes of all the people that are in there. So we'll announce that. We'll reach out to you if you're the winner. All right, part 1, review yearly performance metrics, revenue growth goals, caregiver recruitment and retention. And then Lisa will go through the wonderful leave behinds that she's made for, I think we have November and December, and January. Yeah, I think we do have January too. Okay, and January. All right, revenue growth goals. So I wanted to hear from you guys, and people don't always want to talk. And if you don't want to, it's totally fine. But I would like to hear, are you guys on track to hit your 2024 revenue goals? Are people on track, not on track? You can talk here and we can chat about it, or not. Either way, it's going to be really important that you spend some quiet time with yourself. And where you're going to do that, maybe in the bathroom. Home care is just crazy. I don't know when and how you're going to do it. I can't promise you that you're going to have some quiet time. But if you find yourself or just schedule yourself some quiet time to think about, am I going to hit my revenue goals? Because we're really close, guys. It's November, right? It's almost over. The year's almost over. Are you going to hit them? And if you are, what worked this year? And can you replicate that next year? And if you're not, you need to figure out the why so that you can work on that and set your goals for next year so that you do hit them. Does anyone want to share? I'm not going to force anybody, and if nobody wants to, that's fine. I just thought I would ask. And if you don't want to share, again, that's fine. As you need to do it with yourself though, if you don't want to do it here. Anybody? Nothing in the chat, Lisa? No?
We're on
Okay.
track.
George, did you want to?
Yeah, we're on track to hit our revenue
Oh,
goal for
awesome.
2024.
And what would you say, how is that happening? How's that happening for you? What steps have you taken? What processes, what have you done, would you say?
I'm just the best damn sales guy in the world.
Okay, sure. Absolutely. I believe that. So that's a big piece of it for sure.
One of the we've been very successful whenever we're able to get with someone and tell our story. And a lot of that comes from, I was in technology sales as a sales executive in the technology business for most of my career. But in the late middle of that, we took my father in to live with us who had advanced Alzheimer's when my mama passed. And so whenever I have an opportunity to talk with someone, whether it's one-on-one on the phone or face-to-face, that story really resonates with them. That we're, as an agency, we're coming over there and we understand where they're from. And I'm very transparent with my clients. And just that authenticity also speaks a lot to them. And so that's our number one way we've grown this year. And our goal was for 2024, double the business. And going into 25, I've already put down my goals there. And I don't think our goal is to double the business again this year because we want to continue to drive quality care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that chicken and egg thing as far as getting the caregivers, getting the clients and the caregivers and all that. And so you just the main thing is we just keep moving and keep pressing forward. It's a messy business, and we just accept the fact that it's a messy business. And I think just keeping a cool head, moving forward, being realistic, setting expectations with clients, I think it's enabled us to do well. We got lots of referrals now from existing clients to their other knowledge, people that they know, and so word of mouth is picking up for us a lot.
That's wonderful, George. That's really good to hear. And I think accepting that it's a messy business is an important piece to this because it can really set you back when something messy happens. If you're not prepared for that or accept it as a part of this business, because it definitely is. And it's really easy to let that paralyze you sometimes. So I'm happy to hear you say that and that you recognize that. I would totally agree with that. And congratulations on hitting your numbers this year. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to add one thing too. We're trying to specialize a little bit in the dementia area. And so by rolling that out, we've added additional dementia training for our caregivers. And then we've started opening that up to our clients as well, because we see clients not reacting well to an Alzheimer's patient by getting down and saying, "Daddy, do you know who I am?" You don't do that. And so we've added that aspect as far as inviting clients to attend our dementia training, quarterly dementia training. And then next week, we're taking another step where we have a standalone independent living facility where we're doing our dementia training there on site. And so that enables them to invite anyone that's a resident there to come and participate in our training, and with our caregivers and also my client families. And so I think that this is a way that we're trying to differentiate ourselves as far as having our expertise around quality care in the dementia space.
That's great. That's great. And differentiation is going to be so important. The market, I'm not going to say it's totally saturated. In some areas it is. And the only way that people are going to see you as a different home care company doing something different, you have to have something different. And all that training is a fabulous way to do that, George. I love that. And getting the family caregivers, the clients, family to come to that training you're also being a resource to them too, because they probably are at their wits' end sometimes. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to respond. They don't, that's really good. You're improving all of their lives. So I love that.
It's a major thing we communicate. The care business is itself like being a caregiver in that there's not a script for what we go through day to day. And learning that it's a messy business. There's not a script for what you're going through. I tell that to clients who have loved ones with Alzheimer's, and they tear up and they say, "Thank you for telling me that." That every case is unique, and you've got to learn to live without a script.
Yes, that's
you got to
true.
shut up now.
I had a new marketer one time say, "Can you prepare me for every case scenario?" I said, "No, I cannot. There is no possible way I can do that. I will do my very best, but No, every scenario, every client, they seem like they all fit in a box, but they really don't. There's always going to be something different and interesting and challenging about all of them. So thank you for sharing, George. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I'll go next.
Okay, James.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, everybody. We have doubled since last year our revenue, although we did go down last year because of the fact that I had health issues and then my executive director had health issues. So it really impacted us significantly. And of course, those health issues prevented us. We should have had someone trained and ready to go to jump in for us, but that didn't happen. But now we have doubled again. So we're actually higher than we were back in early 2023. So which is really good. But we've added some revenue channels. So we're working with Medicare Advantage. We're working with Medi-Cal, Cal-AIM we're in California, and also with another sort of branch of Medi-Cal is working with independent living services or sources, and that's through Kaiser. They're a company that does the referrals for home care for Kaiser Permanente in our area. So it's a lot of work to try to learn their ways of doing referrals and their ways of doing claim submission, but it's worth it. You just have to keep your nose to the grindstone and ask questions and learn. And I'm going to add something to the great things that George said. So for us, we really try to be very one-on-one centered when we do our assessments and our startup cares. So the majority, I would say probably 80 to 85% of our assessments are done in person, unless it's a remote location. It's just impossible for us to get there. And then we strive for 100% of having one of our managers there at startup care to answer any additional questions that come up, introduce the caregiver, and stay there until we feel that the relationship is established on a good footing. And then we try to keep up with connecting with the client or their family and the caregiver too, several times over the first couple of weeks to make sure things are going well. That personal connection, I think, really separates us from a lot of agencies.
Yeah. I would say so. That's great. And I think that one-on-one time that you're spending with the family, they really probably value that too, because it is a personal business. It's a heart business, and we can't run them through like cattle. It feels that way sometimes. You've got 4 call-offs and it's Friday and it's just crazy, but they are people at the end of
and it's surprising how many agencies don't do that. They'll just talk with the client on the phone, and then they'll send the caregiver. And then they may call them and say, hello, how did things go today? But I wanted to piggyback on something that George mentioned too, is that I really try to share my personal story with my father, who had dementia, Alzheimer's. And being able to share your story really brings you to a really great connection with clients. And they know that you walk the walk.
You've been through it and you have personal experience. And I think all of us have a story of some kind. We here at Approved Senior Network, for our clients that buy a website, we have our authority and trust video that we create for them. And we ask them questions about, what is your story? We give them like 6 questions, and it gets to the heart and soul of who they are and what they're doing and why they're in this business. And then Valerie, the wonderful editor that she is, takes herself out of the video, adds beautiful pictures and sliders going in and out. And then that becomes a testament to what they do. It's on their website. We get a QR code so that they can put it on their print material, and anyone can scan it in at any time and get to the heart and soul of the company. And that's what's going to set you apart too, is that you have a heart and passion for this business. So I think that is a really important piece that both you and George have mentioned, James. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you, James.
I'll step in next.
Okay.
James, I wish you luck with conquering your health challenges. I'm sorry? James, I wish you luck with conquering your health challenges. And we hit our number by fluke or founder, because unlike George, I'm not the best salesperson there's ever been. but
You're
recognize.
Rodney, don't you say that. You're doing really well, Rodney.
You're
Well,
killing it.
I try.
are.
But
We see you.
recognizing my deficiency, we've hired the best female salesperson ever, and her name is Kira, and we're expecting great things from her, along with the sales training class that you guys provide. I think that class was phenomenal, and if you guys on the cast here have not done it, it is a really wonderful class. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Thank you, Rodney. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Rodney.
Thank
Thank you.
Rodney.
We miss you.
So we're going to go ahead and move on in. If you aren't, we've got these are all great stories, and you can hear there's the story. They're sharing a piece of their story. They're doing the sales thing. They're out in the field. You've got to have the feet on the ground and marry that to your online presence and your website and all of those things. Those are the things that have to happen. If you're not hitting your numbers and you're concerned, I had created this sheet, something like this. Lisa and I redid it years ago when I felt like revenue was down or wasn't going to hit where I wanted to hit. This is a revenue tools reminder sheet. How can you increase your revenue? So I had this, and you guys will have the link to this within the slides, but I had this up in my office because if it was, sometimes you're just, oh my gosh, we're dropping. It feels like you're on a side of a cliff and everything. You're just struggling to get back up there. You're not thinking clearly when that happens. And so this would always help me think about what can I do right now in this moment to get revenue turned back around. Of course, new private pay business, right? You got to be out in the field. You've got to get out there and meet and greet and be networking. So that's part of it. Another part is increasing billable hours with your current clients. What I've seen through the years is clients sign up for the minimum of what they need. They almost always need more. They don't want to do this. We're talking them into, come on, you know they need 5 days, but we're going to get them to do at least 3, right? Because they just don't want to do this at all. There's usually room to increase hours with current clients. Have your caregivers communicating with the scheduling team. Maybe they're doing overnights 4 days a week, and the nights that nobody's there, they come the next morning and they're like, oh my goodness, they need somebody here every night. Make sure they're communicating that to the scheduling team. Usually there's an opportunity to increase billable hours with current clients, of course, only if they need it. We're not going to try to increase hours if they don't need it. Hold on to your scheduled billing hours. We've gone through this before. Train your schedulers to say, your caregiver's out sick today, but so-and-so is coming. Not, your caregiver's out sick today, do you want a replacement? That is you're going to lose billable hours hand over fist if that's the language that they're using. And it's hard for them because they have to find the replacement, right? So caregiver's out sick today, but we will have somebody there in an hour. Caregiver's out sick today, but so-and-so is on her way. Because the adult children don't want mom and dad to miss the hours either. So not only is your billable hours going to decrease, the adult child's not going to be happy that mom didn't get care. She's going to say, why did you ask her if she wants a replacement? You know she's going to say no. So be sure that you know what your scheduling team is saying to the clients when a caregiver's out sick or running late. Keep track of your billable hours weekly. Have that weekly goal and be looking at next week. I always say you should have 1 foot in this week and 1 foot in next week. I was always looking at my billable hours scheduled for next week. And if it wasn't at least a little bit more than this week, I had some work to do. You want to be growing every week. So keep track of those billable hours every week. Shop your competitors. I did this quarterly. You can *67, call people. You hit *67 in their phone number. They don't know who you are. Pretend to be an adult child. Find out what they're doing. Are they charging a lot more than you? Do they not have a minimum and they used to and now they don't? Do you need to think about that? Like you need to know what your competitors are doing. I also called quarterly to see what they were doing with the caregivers. Are they paying the caregivers more? Do they have a bonus that I don't know about? So shop your competitors. Check in with past clients. Keep good notes because if a client left because they died, you need to know that. You don't want to be calling how are you doing? And they're no longer alive. I did this because somebody didn't keep good notes. So keep good notes and check in with past clients. And a lot of times when I would call, they would say, I am so glad you called today. I couldn't find your phone number. I knew it was you, but I didn't know what company you were with. I'm so glad you called. And reach out to all of your leads, new and old. If they never signed, reach out to them. How are they doing? Keep good notes when you talk to them the first time. Did your mom have that surgery? How is she doing after surgery? Do you want to talk about home care? So this tool was very helpful for me. I just kept it up in my office and I would look at it often, very often. So you guys, when you get the slides, you just click on this link and it'll take you to that tools reminder. You can download it and keep it for yourself. Revenue growth goals. It's time to start setting your goals for 2025. It sounds like George has already done that. Probably lots of you have done that. Meet with your team and listen to them and consider their feedback. You're going to need their buy-in, right? You can't do this whole thing all by yourself. You need your team to assist. You need their buy-in. So sit down and have a meeting. What worked in 2024? What didn't work? Why don't they, if you didn't reach your goals, why do they think you didn't? If you did reach them, why do they think you did? Get their feedback, get their buy-in, maybe have a lunch together and sit down and talk about this. If you make this important and take some time out of the day, they will see it as important all year long. You're setting the stage for that. Your goals should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. The acronym for that is SMART, S-M-A. You can see specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. They should also be broken down into smaller, weekly, measurable milestones for better focus and progress tracking. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. And then it's going to be important to identify the roles in your company that drive revenue growth. Hint, it's not just your marketer, community liaison. Everyone has a piece in your revenue growth. So I have this KPI sheet. We've seen this before. This isn't the first time that we've looked at this, looking to see what time it is, if we have time to deep dive or not. But you have a link to this where I just went. Your community liaison, sales, marketing has a role in your revenue growth. Scheduling, staffing, client services, I heard it called all kinds of things. They have a role in your growth. Recruiting and retention does as well. This is a KPI sheet that I've used for years. This is the goal, the 1.5 million. This goal could be what you want it to be. This does not mean that if you only have one marketer, you're only going to get to 1.5 million. It's going to depend on the kinds of jobs you're signing. But if this is a good goal for you, maybe it's higher than this. You need to be tracking it weekly. So this is how I've done this. If you divide the 1.5 million by 52 weeks, your weekly run rate is 28,846. The goals to hit that for marketing, that person, your full-time marketer, is 40 to 50 stops a week. Out of those 40 to 50 stops, 15 to 20 are face-to-face. From that, you're going to get 5 to 7 referrals. You need to have a 70% booking ratio. Someone's called in. They're looking for services. If you talk to 10 people, 7 of those should be booked. If you're not able to do that, you might want to take the sales training class. We will show you how to do that. Signing ratio. If you've gone to 10 homes to sign people, 9 of those should have signed. And out of all of this, you're going to have 3 to 4 signed jobs a week. Now, if you want this 1.5 million to be bigger, you might add a KPI that is 124/7 a week is signed. Or every 2 weeks, there's a 24/7 signed. We know that they don't stay forever. You're replacing 24s quite continuously. A lot of them don't stay forever and ever. So if you lose one, you got to find one right away so your billing doesn't drop. So this is what sales and marketing should be doing weekly to help you hit your revenue goals. Scheduling, staffing, client services. They should be able to do, and this is based on the size of your company, 3 to 4 if you're larger, 3 to 4 quick starts a week. Or if you're newer, the social workers out there are going to test you. When you come in and say, we can start quick, try us. We'll help you with that hard last minute discharge on a Friday. They're going to throw some at you. They're also going to throw you some tiny little jobs that you don't want, but they're making sure that you really care about this. It's not about money. This isn't just business to you. Your heart and soul is involved. And yeah, you're going to take this tiny little client because you care about seniors. That's what, and they do, they test you. I check with Annette and Lisa and they're like, gosh, that's the worst. It does happen. So for scheduling to be able to do 3 to 4 quick starts a week, they need to be staffed ahead 48 hours, 72 hours on Fridays, 50 to 70% of the week. So what do I mean by that? When you're smaller, when a job comes in and it's 7 days a week, you probably just sit down and staff it all 7 days. As you're growing, it doesn't work like that anymore. As you're growing, you're staffing Monday, Wednesday, Friday with one caregiver. Tuesday, Thursday might be another, and then you've got your weekend caregiver. So these things sit on the open shift board for a while. It's getting staffed in pieces. So say it's Tuesday, before I leave Tuesday, I'm going to be staffed out through Thursday evening. Everything, all open shifts are going to be staffed out. All jobs are going to be staffed out. This opens room for your scheduling team to deal with call-offs, because it would be terrible to come in Wednesday morning and I'm still staffing for Thursday. Maybe I'm still staffing for Wednesday night. And now I have call-offs to deal with. And now the marketing person just brought in a quick start that starts tonight. There's just no way. They're going to fail. They should be staffed out 48 hours during the week. And on Fridays, I try to get them to staff through Monday, because Monday's already call off crazy, right? There's already a lot going on Monday. If they can be staffed out like that 50 to 70% of the week, that is going to help you be able to do the quick starts. Less than 10% of your total shifts should be missed shifts. And again, this is caregivers out sick. This has to do a lot with language, getting somebody else out there in the language they're using on the phone. Trying to increase client hours based on needs. Now, again, this is going to depend on the size of your agency. 10 to 20 hours a week, that's a big ask. But if it's an overnight client that needs another day, there's lots of different scenarios playing into this, but they should be focused on increasing client hours too. Your scheduling team may not be motivated in a business sense, and neither would recruiting and retention may not be either. And that's okay. But talk to them about helping the senior. We don't want seniors at home alone when they need somebody there. You can sometimes address these things with them heart to heart instead of money profit. Sometimes the team doesn't like to hear about the money and the profit. The marketing people do, but the rest of the team, they're in this for the heart and soul too. So lost clients, yes.
Don, real quick, I just have a quick observation regarding that point.
Mhm.
Just recently, we've gotten a few family members that are really very involved in the scheduling, and especially for dementia clients, or they want to see the caregiver just doing something from the start of the shift to the end of the shift.
Mhm.
And we've just really had to go back in it and just have real kind conversations that we're not domestic workers. We are caregivers, and we are there to keep your loved ones safe and secure and fed and hydrated and have some companion care so they're not lonely. Those are the critical things that we do, especially for dementia clients. And I think I've just challenged myself that anytime we have a new potential dementia client, that I sit down and really explain that to the family, that please don't expect our caregiver to go through that and be doing something housework oriented if they don't have something that's client centered or personal care, because that's not what they do. Their goal is to spend time next to the caregiver or to the client or in the general vicinity. And even if it means they're gonna watch a TV show with them and have a conversation, that's working as a caregiver. So it's really interesting that that's just really popped up in the last couple of weeks. And so
yeah, that is a really important point, James. And I think it's setting the expectation. It sounds like you're doing a really good job of setting that expectation during the assessment. And I think the mindset comes from, wow, this is really expensive. I want to get my money's worth. And they don't want to see a caregiver just sitting.
right.
And to be fair, I have had
Yeah.
caregivers that have just sat on the couch and they're not working
Sure.
and they're on their phone. And so
Yeah.
I understand that even when we build websites for our clients, we have the hero image on the front of the website. And I will say, and our clients say, the caregiver's got to be doing something in that image. It can't just be, they need to be doing, we need an action shot. We need some action shots on the website, because the feedback they're getting from the family is, I'm not paying someone to just sit there with my mom all day. I've heard this a million times, but it is about companionship and setting that expectation in the beginning that sometimes that's what we do, is we're engaging.
Right.
As long as you're engaging with the client and
Exactly.
you're talking, you're visiting, something it's setting that expectation is really important lately, especially. I would agree with you.
Yeah. And I have to admit, this wasn't recently, but I did have to have a direct conversation with the family member and just say, hey, please, that's not an expectation you should be having, because we are not housekeepers. we do a much broader service for our clients. So please don't expect. And if that's what you want, maybe we're not the right agency for you. You can't be afraid to say that, but you don't want to say it right away.
No,
You
you've
want
got
to
to
be
be
able to.
careful with that. But
Right.
the idea,
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes it can
Choose
be
your words.
difficult clients or family members.
And I think setting that expectation in the beginning
Yeah.
too, you do have to. I learned right away when I was signing clients, trying to picture myself as the caregiver in this home. I've got 4 hours. Can I get all this done? Are these, and I would start, I had a way, and I've been thinking about doing this again, of categorizing client family members as much as I could. This is like a quick, like, drill sergeant. This client is, don't talk to me until I've talked to you. This client needs a lot of hand-holding and a lot of attention. I know
Right.
they don't all fit in a box, but just a general sense so that the staff,
Yeah.
the staffers would have an idea of what the
Right.
expectation might be
And
too. So,
something just popped in my head too, because over the last 6 months or so, we've raised our minimum from 4 hours to 6 hours. And so I think that might be part of what
that's where the
issue
expectation's coming
might
from. They're
be.
like, what is the caregiver going to do for 6 hours? Right.
Right.
That's where
Yeah, that's a good, yeah, wow, that just popped in my head. So thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. So for your scheduling team, the lost clients, and 2 to 3 might seem like a lot if you're not a larger company, but you don't want to lose more than 2 to 3 clients. People die, things happen, but there should be, if you're scheduling, you've got to train your schedulers too, to be hearing things beyond, or thinking like, okay, this caregiver was late twice this week. And the adult daughter sounds fine, but is she really fine? So I had trained my scheduling team to reach out to the marketer, whoever signed the client to begin with. Caregiver's been late twice this week. Adult daughter seems okay, but I just want you to know. And then the marketer just calls in. How's it going? I hear, and you need a little story. I hear that Mary and your mom went grocery shopping yesterday. I don't know, something that happened, so that they're just calling to check in. And sure enough, that adult child will say, Mary's been late twice this week, right? And so we were able to jump in before it got to be too big of a problem to solve. Getting your scheduling team to, a lot of communication between scheduling and your sales team. The number of shout outs to the caregivers. So scheduling gets upset with the caregivers. The grandma's died 8 times. She's not coming to work. They get sick of the excuses. They're not happy with the caregivers a lot of the time, especially as the volume gets to be more. So I wanted my scheduling team to give me 3 to 4 shout outs a week of caregivers doing something good. 2 reasons for this. I need to acknowledge my caregivers. They need to feel loved and recognized. The other thing is, I wanted the schedulers to be looking for something good. I wanted them to be on the search for seeing something good that the caregivers are doing, because we know they do a lot more good than they do bad. And for your recruiting and retention, they should be refreshing their ads at least once a week. And if you're doing that once a week, it moves you to the top. Even if you just refresh the headline, it's going to move you to the top of all of the caregiver ads. The number of caregiver leads coming in, if you are signing this many jobs a week, you need 16 to 24 caregiver leads coming in. Out of that, 8 to 12 will probably be interviewed. Out of that, 4 to 6 hired. These have been the numbers since the beginning of time. It just cuts in half each time. So if you want to hire 4 to 6, you need 16 to 24 leads coming in. For impressions for your caregivers for retention, all caregivers hired within the last 90 days, they should be reached out to weekly. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And then every caregiver should be hearing from you monthly. So as you're going through your weeks, every single week, you're meeting with your different people, different departments, and they are listing for you what they actually did. This is the goal, but what did they actually do? And you're keeping track of your run rate. If I need to hit 28,000 and I'm only at 17, I better do something pretty soon, right? I've got to do something to turn that around. You can go back to your revenue sheet and figure that out. As I'm entering numbers here in the sheet, this changes. So I see how close I'm getting to my quarterly goal. You can't look at this just quarterly. It's too late. You can't go back and fix anything that's already happened. So looking at it weekly is going to be really important. And you guys have access to this sheet here. It's under the word hint. And so when you get the slides, you can look at that. Your recruiting retention weekly goals are here, and we already went through that. We're going to talk about recruiting and retention. You always need to be in hiring mode. always be in hiring mode because caregivers leave. Sometimes the hours don't line up. I've got all 24s coming in, but these caregivers only want to work 3 to 4 hours a day. So you should always be in hiring mode. Hire with a sense of urgency. You need to move them through quickly. This does not mean you're not vetting them. It does not mean you're not paying attention, asking them the right questions, doing references, but you've got to do it quick. Caregivers are very much in the moment people. They're very reactive. And if they're looking for a job right now, whoever gets them hired the fastest is going to be the one who wins. I've also seen when my quality goes down, the kinds of caregivers that are coming in, the quality is not good. It's because the good quality people got hired fast. And so you've got to get them in, get them interviewed, get them hired, and get them hired quickly as you can. I know some states have different regulations, and so you've got to work around those. You have to follow the state regulations. I understand that, but the faster you can get them through while still vetting them, the better. So I created this recruiting workflow. The first one is if you're in our recruiting retention program, it's really not that different. It's just the way in which we're communicating. But number one, you place your ad on Facebook, other job sites. Number two, the applicants apply from Facebook automatically. So what we do is we automatically add them to the Career Center when they apply. Once they're added to the Career Center, they get a text notification immediately asking them a few qualifying questions. And when I say a few, it's just a few. If it's long and daunting, they're never going to do it. They answer the questions. If they pass those questions, the system then asks them to schedule their own interview. So they're in charge. It could be midnight and they're doing all of this behind the scenes while I'm tucked in bed. And they're scheduling an interview with me for tomorrow all by themselves. That's fast. That's quick. That catches them in the mindset of where they are right now to get this interview scheduled. And guess what? Once an interview is scheduled, they're done. They're not looking anymore. And that's the whole goal. I want them to come to me. I want them to work for me. If I get them scheduled with an interview, even if it's midnight, they're going to stop looking anywhere else. If they don't fill out the form, if they don't schedule their interview, our system's going to chase them for 4 days, reminding them, hey, you applied for an interview. You wanted to work here. Fill out this quick form. And so the system chases them. If you're not in a program like this, that's fine, but you have to chase them. They're not going to be a one and done. Caregivers don't work that way. And I can't recommend enough that you are texting them. Their voicemail is full. Their voicemail is not set up. They don't answer their phone. It goes on and you play phone tag. You don't have time for phone tag. This has to quickly go down very quickly. So texting is their preferred mode of communication. It was a game changer for us to text. Applicant completes that short form, schedules their own interview. The way that I have always done this, it's been very good for me, has been to do a phone interview. And before this phone interview, I don't make them fill out an application. That's daunting. Your competitor's not making them do it. And if you are, that's a problem. If they fill out an application on Indeed, and then you're then making them fill out another one, they don't like that either. You wouldn't like that. I wouldn't want to have to fill out 2 applications. So the way I've done it is when they do the short questionnaire, and the short questionnaire can be, have you had a felony? If they say yes, the system will, and you don't do that, you don't hire people that have had a felony, the system just gets rid of them. You never see them. So you're asking some pre-qualifying questions and some deal breaker questions, and the system knows to move them through or not, or spit them out, one of the two. But I ask them anything I need to know that I would get from the application, I'm going to ask them during the phone interview. And I'm going to keep track of that for them so they don't have to do that. And the phone interview is a little bit longer than a normal phone, like when you would just do a quick, brief phone kind of screening. This is an interview. And I'm going to ask them some real life questions too, because I want to really know who they are. Normally, when you come to your client's home and you knock on the door, they answered the door. Today you did that and they didn't answer. What do you do? I can't tell you how many of them said, I would go home. I would go home. Okay, that's not the right answer. That's not the right answer, right? You call the office, you stay there until you reach somebody from the office. So asking some really good questions like that, doing the phone interview over the phone, the reason I do that is they don't want to come to the office more than one time. That is making things hard for them. They're jumping through hoops. Your competitor is not making them do that. Don't make them come to the office more than once. I've interviewed them. I like them. They're wonderful. I'm going to schedule them for orientation. In our program, when I schedule them for orientation, the system is now going to remind them, just like it does with the interview. They get a confirmation as soon as they're scheduled. They get a reminder 24 hours via text, an hour before the interview via text, and 15 minutes before the interview. They also get reminders about orientation. So guess what happened to my show up ratio? Oh my gosh, they started finally showing up. And in the orientation text, we also listed, bring your driver's license, social security card. Make sure that you wear scrubs to orientation because we're going to be doing some skill training. Whatever little brief thing I wanted them to know, we put in the orientation text. They attend orientation. So the background check, I ran my background check when they showed up to orientation. I had a background check that would run in an hour unless they've lived in a million counties. So I didn't run it until I knew that they physically showed up in my office. I don't want to spend money on a background check and then they never show up. So when they walked in, I would run the background check. Sometimes we had to tell them to go because their background didn't come back good. We told them we would be doing this when they came to the office. This is now, because now they're in my office, they're a captive audience. Now I'm going to have them complete an application. I'm going to drug test them if that's something that you're doing. I found great saliva swab drug tests that they just put in their mouth for 5 minutes while they're completing paperwork. I'm going to do all of that during orientation. Sometimes they come in and they're not a good fit still, even though we did the interviewing and all of that. They don't behave well in orientation. Our orientation was 3 to 4 hours. We get to know them during that time. We're up, we're on our feet, we're transferring, we're looking at a hospital bed, we're asking questions, and we're getting to know them. If they are not a good fit, we just politely ask them to leave. We pulled them aside and asked them to leave. And we just tell them, I'm sorry. And we were very clear, you are not hired until after orientation. You have to complete orientation to be hired because I don't want a bunch of unemployment things going on. So I see heads going, yep. So this is a great process to follow. So this one up here on top is if you're in our recruiting and retention program. If you're not, here is the way that it would work. It works basically the same way, but you're manually chasing, texting, calling,
Doing
all of the things. So this you will find when you click the 6-step process.
My bad. 2 quick questions, sorry. Outside of Facebook, what is a platform that you've had like a good retention rate with?
The platform for retention?
Yeah, outside of Facebook, because you said
So for retention, our platform is the texting. So we know if we can get a caregiver to stay 90 days, they're going to stay.
Mhm.
So we've got to get them over the 90-day hump. So our system sends out a text every single week to all of the caregivers that have been with us less than 90 days. And the text is not, where's your TB? Can you work Saturday? It's about them. How did your first shift go? Are you enjoying your clients? Do you need more hours? It's those kind of texts.
Is that associated with your short form system or is that 2 separate things?
It's recruiting and retention is one program that we have here at ASN, and we can do a demo for you if it's something that you're interested in seeing.
Please.
Yep. Okay. All right. We'll reach out to you. Do you have his name?
Reach out to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. You're welcome.
Yep, I do. Thanks,
Okay.
Michael.
Then Dawn, you have a question. What brand of swabs do you use for your drug tests?
Oh, the brand. It's on Amazon. You know what? I will send it. I think, is it Stephanie that sends this out now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I will send it to Stephanie to send out with this, a link on Amazon. There's several of them. It's great because they just stick it in their mouth while they're filling out their application. It's not taking a lot. I've done the urine ones and it's not a good. No, it's just not easy. And you're trying to get everything done so that they can go to work. Oh, and what I forgot to mention, which is really important in step 6, try not to let them leave your office without a job. If they want 40 hours a week, they're probably not going to get that before they leave your office. And I understand that it's an expectation, but they should get something. Try to give them something. And our goal was, so when they come in and you get their availability and all that, you're giving that to scheduling. They're there for a couple of hours, 2-3 hours. Scheduling's working on finding them work while they're there. And we're working on skills and all of that. And as they're passing the skills, we're letting scheduling know this person can do just about anything. Sign her up. So when they leave, if they leave with nothing, they feel very defeated. I spent my whole day here. I don't have a job. And if you guys are getting ghosted after they've left training, that's why. So try to get them some work. And our goal was, and we told them, you will have your full hours within 2 weeks. So just bear with us. We're going to get you something before you leave, but before 2 weeks is up, we're going to make sure that you have all of your hours. So that's an important thing too. So that's also listed in here. Okay, we're getting low on time here. Retention strategies. These strategies focus on communication, recognition, and creating a supportive culture, all of which are key to improving intention. So contact all of your new caregivers every week, their first 90 days. Text is best. Our system is automated and does this for you. Contact all current caregivers every month. Again, text is best. The system we have will automate that too. Acknowledge caregivers publicly in front of the entire team of caregivers in a caregiver newsletter. Acknowledge their birthday. Acknowledge, this is why you get the shout outs from your staffing team. Acknowledge them. You can also send out a mass text. Hey, so-and-so did such a great job, that everybody sees, and everybody just celebrate them. Of all the people in every industry, they are the most that need to feel like they're a part of something bigger. And then we send them out on an island all by themselves. It's the nature of the business. They need to feel connected to the office for retention. Host caregiver parties and let them bring their kids. It doesn't have to be anything big and fancy. An open house works best. And I know this sounds terrible, 10 to 12 hour day, guys. You want them all to be able to come in and around their work. And so we just had the office open. Everyone who worked, the whole admin team would bring food. We all brought food, crock pots, desserts. It was an all office effort. It wasn't as if we catered in this big fancy something, right? And so we were open 10 to 12 hours so they could come and go. Ask them to bring their clients if it's safe for them to do. We had many caregivers bring their clients, and that was such a fabulous thing. And take lots and lots of pictures, get permission for social media. Celebrate this, put it everywhere.
Yeah.
Social media and your newsletter should be on your website, should be everywhere. Deliver party food and giveaways to the caregivers that are working and can't come. If they're at a 24-hour and they can't come, take it to them, bring them some food, celebrate them too. They're probably not that one caregiver is more important than other, but if they're on a 24, that's a pretty big deal, right? We don't want them to be upset that they missed the party because they're working. So just think about all of those things. Okay, we have a home care marketing store. Lisa's going to go through all of our leave behinds. If you want to find the things that go with the leave behinds, this is the address that you go to. It's home care marketing news.com/store. And we've got October, November, December. You just click on the month that you want, and you will be able to go to the link that takes you to those things. Go ahead, Lisa, you're up.
Yes, and you don't have to use our store, but it just makes it really easy. So everything's just kind of at the fingertips there for you, so you don't have to go searching. And I keep losing my internet intermittently. I don't know why, so I hope I don't. But okay, November leave behind. So this is really great. This will get you in the door to speak with the social worker or whomever you need to speak with, a director of nursing, depending on where you're going out to. But this is a Thanksgiving personalized giant coloring poster that you can take out and get permission to get it on the wall or on the windows or something. Bring everything that your people need to be able to color and all that. Even start coloring it in. And if you go to the next slide, I'd like to show what it looks like when people are coloring in. Can you go to the next slide?
I think we are losing you, Lisa. Are you there?
Who's driving? Okay. Oh no.
Yeah,
we're
losing you.
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead, Lisa, because we're just hearing like little tiny bits.
Please.
Okay, so this is, we have one
Yes.
of our clients in our classes. I believe, I don't know if she's in a class or if she's just coming to mastery. Either way, she purchased tablecloths and had the kids color these tablecloths and then delivered them. So this is a really fun idea. She's at Touching Hearts of Home in Rochester, New York. I thought this was a great idea. She probably saw this and then thought, because it's $50 like that can be expensive. You can't do that with every referral source. So she took that idea and ran with it and did it with tablecloths. We have a November leave behind. We can help. Don't be a turkey and stress over discharges. We can help. Call us now. And you can order these turkeys. The turkeys stress relief link is at the store. This will take you to the store I was talking about. We've had lots of clients do this. Lots of people coming to Mastery do this. And this is Assisting Hands. These are the stress ball turkeys. The people will get them out every single year on their desk I did this, and the turkeys were out every single year. So this is one of, and then also Incredicare did it, and Home Instead. Here we're showing you 3 different companies that took this and ran with it. I don't know if anybody's here today to tell us what kind of response they're getting or how it's working, but I'm sure it's fabulous. If you are, speak up and we talk about that. I'll keep going until you do. Hospice and Home Care Month, a recipe of caring. We've got our ingredients of being very caring hospice and home cares, and best served warm. This is a Lisa original poem. To go with that, we have some cookie mix and mason jars. And again, these links are going to take you to that store. You don't have to, like Lisa said, we don't get anything out of this. We're just giving you some quick, easy, inexpensive ideas. You can attach this around the outside or stick it with some sticky tape on the outside of the jar. December fun, come one, come all. You can do cookie crafting parties. You can have a holiday party, add a SNF at an assisted living just for the people who work there if you want, or you can do something for the whole community. There's cookie decorating that you can do. You can get these cookies at a local bakery. I used to just go in and say, hey, I'm going to an assisted living, or I'm going to a memory care, and I'm going to decorate cookies with the seniors there. Are you able to donate cookies? And a lot of times they would just give me 100 cookies. Just ask. I gave them my business card. They'd staple it to the receipt that was zeroed out, and they'd keep it for management. They had to turn it in. It worked for me lots and lots of times. So that's always fun to do. You are a smart cookie. Thank you for choosing us to get patients safely home for the holidays. You can attach that. Here again is some more of that cookie, and you can tie like the cookie cutter along the outside, or your business card, or anything that you want to there. Here are some more links. December leave behind, ticking time bomb discharge. That's how the social workers feel sometimes. We're going to call it a care bomb discharge. Let us assist you with patient discharges. And these are some fun hot chocolate bombs. And so they go with this. This is going to definitely get their attention when you're talking about a bomb. And then you just attach these hot chocolate bombs for December. They're nice, warm, and cozy. This is something that I've done year after year. This, again, you guys that are going to enter this December, this is going to be all of these December things we're going through. You're going to get these with your logo and everything on them. These are coloring pages. There's lots and lots of them. Here's a sample. You go out to the schools in November, give them a deadline. I can't stress that enough. Tell them, hey, would the teachers be willing to have the kids color these in? They're beautiful. We just get their first name, age, and the grade in school, and they put a little message for a senior. And you get as many of these done as you can. I've had assisted living use these as placemats at their holiday dinner. I've had SNFs let me go in and pin them up on the walls of the patient's rooms. It's a very heart-warm feeling holiday, great. I can't stress enough how much this did for me. It was wonderful. It got me in the holiday spirit too, but I'm telling you, come end of December, January, my phone's ringing off the hook because they're seeing another side of me. They're seeing that I really care. They're seeing that this is multi-generational. I'm getting children involved with the seniors. It's just a great campaign. And again, here's one. He says, my snowman is happy. My snowman throws snowballs. That has nothing to do with anything, but it's adorable. And they love it. They love this. Mostly the things that they say to them are usually really sweet. You have a link to all of these right here. And so we'll keep going. January leave behinds. Let us help you bring in the new year with less readmissions. Have a sparkling 2025. So readmissions is going to be something that the social workers are hearing about right now. They've got to get their readmissions down. Their goals for 2025 are going to be able to get the readmissions down. We know that home care studies show that hospital readmissions can be reduced by up to 25 to 50% when patients receive structured home care support following discharge. So you're going to attach this to some sparkling cider. These are tiny little Martinelli bottles. Again, you can go to the store to find them. This is going to be so fun. They're going to love this. And maybe put some little necklaces around them or a bow, make them nice and festive. Let's make this the best year yet. Use this card to get your 2025 goals set. So these are actual cards that you're going to give them. Our goal is to help you reduce readmissions and ensure smoother discharges. So these are actual cards that you're going to give them that they can use to set their own goals. And again, go to the link here. It'll take you to the store. The weather outside is frightful. Partnering with us for care is so delightful. This is another great leave behind. We've got lots and lots of great stuff for you guys. And you can pair this with some pens, some snowflake sticky notes. And these are hand warmers for those of you in the cold country. I'm in Arizona, so I won't be needing those. But for those of you that are in the cold country, that's great. It's a great idea. Eat well, feel well. We're all trying to feel better in January, trying to eat healthy in January. Our caregivers are trained in all types of dietary needs, understanding the importance of creating nutritious, healthy meals. You can attach this to a bag of cuties. Here are some honey sticks. You can attach it just about anything healthy. And this, it's been backed by popular demand. Coffee time on me. You take this in to your social workers, redeem by text only to set a date. So they text you to say, I want a coffee. They don't have to sit with you to do it. You're just going to bring them a coffee. And you're getting their cell phone number. That's what matters here most. If you are on a texting basis with your people, your referral sources, when they need something and they can text you, but they have to call everybody else, it's going to help you. So trying to get their cell phone number is great. And this is a great way to get it without bothering them about it. All right. So that is everything. We got through it. We're 4 minutes over.
Good job.
I wish, I'm sorry, Lisa, your internet's not working, but we got it done anyway. So it was great to see everybody. Make sure you pay attention to the dates coming out for the next mastery, and we will do part 2 and part 3. Thanks for coming. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.